the battle to clean up Vermont's impaired waterways, Lake Carmi in Franklin County may be ground zero. Last fall, we showed you just how bad it became. And frustrated homeowners are pleading with state lawmakers to move faster to address the problem. They were urging the House Natural Resources Committee to pass a bill that would designate Lake Carmi a lake in crisis and mandate emergency measures to stop the flow of cow manure and its phosphorus from entering the lake. They say it's clearly responsible for explosive algae growth.
I hate to say it, it's the poster child. The lake is simply not usable by the residents. It is not healthy in terms of its environment, and we know it's due to nutrient loading.
If we have another summer like we had last summer, the town of Franklin is going to suffer. Camp owners, property values, all those things on a smaller scale are going to show exactly what's going to happen at Lake Champlain.
Without action, they say the Green Mountain State is becoming the Green Water State. But critics fear a crackdown on manure runoff at Lake Carmi will shut down nearby dairy farms.